I was the dreidel-spinning champion of the universe. Of course, we didn't call it dreidel back then. No one in Modi'in could beat me. My spinny little toy landed on Gimel every time. I didn't think anyone alive could touch my game, until the Greeks showed up. Nobody knew they were coming. At first I thought the Greeks were just after me, but soon it was clear. They were out to take over the whole city, the whole country. We were cool with them doing their things, but they wanted us to change and fit in. So they started destroying everything that was different. The Greeks' rules didn't sound so harsh. Forget about worshiping only one god, don't do anything Jewish. But it was pretty scary. Anyone caught praying could get beaten. Wearing something Jewish, you might get thrown into jail. You could disappear forever just because you refused to eat pork. And the weirdest part? Some of our neighbors went along with it. They started dressing like the Greeks, and playing Greek sports, and worshiping idols, and hanging out at the wrestling matches. Most people went along with the new rules, even though they weren't happy about it. A few people did exactly what they did before, only they did it in secret. And then there were the people who wanted to fight. As for me, there was too much drama going on. I just wanted to play dreidel. But we couldn't even do that in peace. Every time I sat down, the Greeks would hassle me. They wanted to know if it was some sort of secret Jewish ritual, or magic way to talk to God, or mystical Kung Jew. Of course, it wasn't any of that. At least at first it wasn't. The Greeks would go on house raids, searching for Torahs or Shabbat candles, or other stuff they didn't like. So here was our decoy scheme. We would wait outside and play games, and when the Greek soldiers came by, we just took our time explaining the rules. If it lands on Gimel, you get all the coins. If it's Hay, you get half. If it lands on Nun, you get nothing. And if it lands on Shin, you have to put one in. Everyone inside would hear stalling, so they had time to hide everything. Now that's what I call mystical Kung Jew. The Greek armies spread throughout the country. They reached the temple in Jerusalem, which they trashed, of course. In secret, we studied and we trained. Even though it seemed like everyone thought the Greeks were the coolest thing since sliced latkes, only a few people actually thought that. Most of us were faking. Some of us were hiding. And when we were ready, we stopped hiding. A war was fought and lots of people died. And despite the odds, miraculously, we actually won. We took back our towns and our country and our way of life. We hitched up to Jerusalem to the temple. It was wrecked. Our holy temple. It was completely polluted and trashed. But we all helped clean it up. It looked pretty good again until somebody pointed out the menorah. It wasn't lit anymore. This lamp was supposed to burn 24/7. Making the oil took a long time, and it had to be super pure 200% Holy Temple certified olive oil. And the whole supply was wrecked. And somehow, I'm not saying that I did it, but I'm not saying that I didn't. We found one jar that wasn't broken. And that wasn't even the biggest miracle. Cool, sure, we found a jar of oil, but those jars usually only lasted for a day. And this one? It burned for 8 days and nights. That was long enough that we had time to brew up a whole new batch to keep the fire burning forever. Throughout hundreds of years, thousands of prayers in the temple, and about a mazillion dreidel rolls. Make that a mazillion and one.
Chanukah dates back to the 2nd century during Greek times. It commemorates the Maccabean victory against the Greeks. The miracle of Chanukah was that the small bit of oil for lighting the menorah found in the scavenged Beit HaMikdash lasted 8 nights without ever burning out.
Where do we light the candles? If you live in a warm climate with religious tolerance, light the candles outside by the doorway for passerby to see. If you live on the 2nd floor of a tenement building, light your candles by a window facing the street for passerby to see. If it's dangerous to publicize your Jewishness, or if you have no window that's visible to the public, put your Chanukiah on a table in your house that is the most exposure to the family, or across from the mezuzah so you're surrounded by mitzvot when walking in the house for family to see.
Why we light 1 to 8 candles. Beit Shammai, 8 to 1. We are always lighting the amount of days of the holiday yet to come, looking forward. Just like the acceptance of sacrifices from other nations on Sukkot was decreased daily from 13, 12, 11, and so on, the candles also decrease from 8 to 1. Beit Hillel, 1 to 8. We light the amount of lights corresponding to how many days of Chanukah passed by, looking at the past. We always increase in holiness rather than decrease. We should start with 1 and go up to 8.
What's the purpose? To commemorate the many godly miracles that occurred during Hanukkah, such as the miracle of the long-lasting oil, and the miracle of Judah and the Maccabees defeating the larger Greek army. It's to celebrate the Jews regaining control of the Second Temple, and to celebrate the ability to practice our religion freely and worship God without consequence.
I'm feeling pretty great. Got lockers on my plate. I love this holiday.
It's milk chocolate.
Yeah, I agree.
100% milk chocolate. Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with that one. No chocolate's way to go.
Dark chocolate, always.
Onions and potatoes coming to my
It's too many.
5.
I feel like 3 players, like top 3 players.
Nah, maximum 2. Maximum 2.
There's no such thing as 2 many.
We're gonna celebrate, brave.
Anyone who says, I love you a lot, Ka. I love it.
My favorite Hanukkah pun or bad joke or dad joke is, what's the miracle of Sufganiyot? They can burn in your stomach for 8 days and nights.
I cannot get it.
Why?
Because it wasn't colon on I don't really have one, and I feel kind of guilty about that. Love it.
Festival of light. It's Hanukkah.
Definitely Lee and Ariel. They bring so much ruach to the table. They definitely also make really good food, and they're so much fun. Miss Arking, she looked fire in the dreidel costume.
I think I would invite Miss Arkin.
Okay, it would be Miss Goldfly because she's cool.
I say Miss B because she's really nice. It would definitely be Mr. Fabrizi.
Mr. Fabrizi, for sure.
Like, he just looks like it would be a really, really fun time. Lots of gelt, lots of treats.
You get to experience a Hanukkah.
Yeah.
Definitely Fabrizi.
Yeah, he's an amazing teacher. And also just the greatest honorary Jew.
It'd be period 1, grade 12 chemistry. 2 words, Emma Starkman.
Clay. It's ready, I will play. Gotta give a lot of hey. Mazel tov.
Dreidel game. When King Antiochus IV banned all Jewish religious worship and study in the year 175 BCE, the Jews studied Torah and learned Hebrew in secret, bringing out dreidels and hiding their books whenever the Roman guards would pass by. Today we play the dreidel game as a way to celebrate a rich history and to have fun with friends and family. The letters on the dreidels are Nun, Gimel, He, and Shin, which means Nes Gadol Haya Sham, a great miracle happened there. In Israel, instead of a Shin, there is a Peh, to mean Po, or here. A great miracle happened here.
Latkes remind us of the miracle of the oil and the victory of the Maccabees. Potatoes were used because many Jews in Eastern Europe at the time were poor and potatoes were cheap. Before latkes in the 14th century, the Sephardic Jews made many variations of fried sweets for the holiday. The Ashkenazi Jews in Northern Europe made fried blintzes and donuts. Italian Jews made fried ricotta cheese pancakes called cassola, which are considered by many to be the first latkes. Like many other Jewish traditions, they can vary depending on where your Jewish roots are from.
The word gelt comes from the Yiddish word geld, meaning money. After the Maccabees won, an image of a menorah was stamped onto coins. In medieval Europe, it was a tradition to give teachers gelt to show appreciation. The word Chanukah is linguistically correlated to the Hebrew word for education, hinuch, which led many Jews to connect the holiday with Jewish learning. Many families today give their children chocolate gelt, though some continue to pass out actual gelt as part of their Hanukkah celebrations. Usually, when given real gelt, children are encouraged to donate this money to a charity.
when it comes to lighting the Chanukah, there are 3 rabbinical debates: whether you should light from left to right or vice versa, whether you should start with 1 candle and work your way up to 8 or vice versa, and where you should place the Chanukah. Beit Shammai says to start with 8 lights and work your way down to 1, as the 8 lights correspond to the number of days yet to come, which is forward-looking. Beit Hillel says to start with 1 light and work up to 8, as you always want to go up in holiness rather than down. In terms of where to place a Chanukah, Rashi says you should place a Chanukah where it is publicized to your neighbors, and Tosafot says to place it where everyone can see it. Most rabbis agree you should put the candles in from the right way, then light the newest candle first, meaning you are lighting the candles from left to right.
If you wanna celebrate with us, we got a holiday we call the Festival of Lights. And numbers on the table with a half a dozen riddles and
If it's good luck, how does it change?
I would probably say wow. I think Nutella. Applesauce.
I go butter.
I like them plain.
Wait. Oh.
I'm a very plain person.
I'm an applesauce kind of gal.
Oh God.
Why?
I vibe with that.
I don't like that. I like sour
Disagree.
cream.
Yes, best option there is.
I like applesauce. Applesauce. We get it.
Okay.
No, I like cinnamon. Yeah, no, I'm gonna go with cinnamon also. I didn't say.
Chocolate.
Judas Maccabeus and their army want to feed us at the
100 feet, I guess.
I'm going to say 300 feet.
Let's say 150 because the structure of Chanukah does not lend itself well to
Centimeters. I'd say 10 meters. 30 feet. 40 feet. 85 feet.
windows shine bright with that view.
Nothing. I don't think I've ever gotten that.
Miniature flashlight.
And a book? Socks. Like one.
Probably a roll of duct tape. My dad last year gave my brother and I a pair of slippers and a pack of gum.
Nobody ever gave this to me, but I think it would really suck if somebody got you Christmas decorations.
Every generation was a fight.
That's noon, above, pay.
Nice. Oh, that's good. I go for CHCHANNNUKAH.
HANNUKAH. H with an H at the end.
HANNUKAH. Hanukkah.
Every generation was the fight.
Hanukkah during World War I. Tens of thousands of Jews were killed fighting in World War I. Nevertheless, in 1916, on the sidelines of the battlefield, Jews still found a way to gather and celebrate Hanukkah as shown in the above picture. In 1918, Jewish soldiers from the United States were forced to celebrate Hanukkah while others celebrate Thanksgiving, as there were limited opportunities for celebration, but nevertheless, they celebrated. Even in hard times, such as the Great War, which shocked the entire world, Jewish soldiers still found a way to celebrate Hanukkah. The story of Hanukkah is one of perseverance, and it is amazing to see how the Jewish people still persevere in modern times.
Chanukah during the Holocaust. Even before the Holocaust, the amount of anti-Semitic acts increased in comparison to previous years. However, many Jews still chose to light their Chanukiahs in public places. Through the atrocities of the Holocaust, people became innovative in their methods of celebrating the holiday. All throughout Europe, while there were some Jews who lived in camps who had Chanukiahs, many people did not, and they found other ways to kindle a flame to celebrate the holiday. Some even carved dreidels out of wood or shoes so their children could play with them.
To many, the Chanukah represents strength in the idea that strength will overcome all the hatred towards us as Jewish people.
During the pandemic, many Chanukah celebrations last year were forced to go online or be canceled entirely. Jewish community leaders have shared why they think celebrating Chanukah during the pandemic sends an important message. Elise Rich, who's the director of programming at the Danforth Jewish Circle, says, "When things are dark and we need light, it's a great metaphor for how things are right now. It's a story of miracle, and everybody could use a bit of miracle. But I also think about it as how to be the light." Rabbi Shalom Lezel from Chabad of Danforth Beaches says, "Chanukah tells us that when there's a time of darkness, we increase in light." Chanukah celebrations and events needed to be modified since the normal festivities couldn't take place. Here are some of the ways that Jewish communities in Canada made Chanukah special even during the pandemic. The Chanukah Car Parade in Durham, Chanukah at Home kits in Calgary, drive-in menorah lighting in Ottawa, and virtual tours of places from the Chanukah story in Manitoba and Saskatchewan.
Hanukkah, strength and unity. A dark room can be illuminated by a single candle. Now imagine 8. In a nutshell, that's the story of Hanukkah. Darkness can be overcome when we all stand together. Some commentaries say that the reason for the destruction of the temple was because of the Jews fighting with each other. When the Maccabees won and the temple was rededicated, the Jews reunited around it as one unified nation. Chanukah teaches us an important lesson about the importance of being unified and how unity will make us stronger.
Where is the money from this week's fundraising going? Rally for Recovery, an annual campaign through the UJA which supports mental health, attempts to conquer food security, anti-Semitism, and preserve Jewish children and youth's connection to Judaism and Jewish programs. Especially during these times with COVID, we need strength, resilience, and support to make a difference in our community.
Nah, 8 nights of lights, Chanukahs in the wind to light it up and make it bright. It's been a long, long time since we were saved. Through God's great strength, the Maccabees were brave.
Hold up now, Nesgadol, Hayasham, though it was long ago, we still succumb to all the
candles, the oil. I sit with my loved ones together. We tell all the tales of our past.
So nah, the table's all set. You could go now, but we have not lit yet.
We've got to celebrate, and if you stay, these 8 nights could be great.
Nah, honey, don't fret. You go now, but we have not lit yet.
There is so much we can do, and if you stay, then I will light with you. Ooh, I will light with you.
Now better yet, for 8 straight days, we'll be celebrating and giving praise.
Now check it out. We've got Levivot and the best Sufganiyot you've ever seen. And I'll be like, oh baby, nah baby, I got you again, baby, this year for Mystery Maccabee.
So nah, the table's all set. You could go now, but we have not lit yet. We've got to celebrate, and if you stay, these 8 nights could be great. No, honey, don't fret. You could go now, but we have not lit yet. There is so much we can do, and if you stay, then I will light with you. Ooh, ooh, with you. I will light with you. Ooh, ooh, with you. I will light with you. Ooh, ooh, with you. I will light with you. Ooh, ooh, with you.
We're singing, me and Malil tonight.
Gavurot Israel tonight when we light the light.
So nah, the table's all set. You could go now, but we have not lit yet.
We've got to celebrate, and if you stay, these 8 nights could be great.
Nah, honey, don't fret. You go now, but we have not lit yet.
There is so much we can do, and if you stay, then I will light with you.
Yeah, Hanukkah's good, spinning the dreidel and winning all the gelt.
Gadol Hayasham, no matter what we land, we'll all have so much fun.
Yeah, 8 nights of light, Chanukah's in the window, light it up and make it bright.
I've got this last time with you, and if you stay, then I will lie with you. With you,
I will lie with you. With you, I will lie with you. With you, I will lie with you. With you, I will lie with you.
Join us on Zoom tonight to make latkes with the Cooking Club.
So I just light the fire, set the night alight. Night 1, stay up for the fun, chop the gelt, let the dreidels roll. Night 2, get up and move, dance party in the living room. Singing songs for the Maccabee from dawn until night 3. Night 4, same mouse tour, getting showered in gifts galore. Things are feeling heavy, time for another Zoom already. Life is sweet as jelly.